Hey, La Casa family, how we doing? November 20. I wanted to take a minute and thank each one of you for your love, your care, your text messages, your prayers, phone calls. And if I don't answer you, please do not get offended. I'm just taking some time for solitude and for reflection. I came to this place where I could just take a breather and walk and pray. Today is November 20, and just about 13 years ago on November 21, 2011, I received a call that my dad had suffered a massive heart attack and went to be with the Lord. It was a complete shock. He was 67. He was fine. I had spoken with him in the morning, yet it was his time to go with the Lord, and the Lord took him to eternity. We are trusting God with my mom. We're praying for her. We're standing with her. As soon as I finish this video, I'm going to drive to hospice to stay with her as we have been in the last few days. And we're thankful that we have the hope and the trust in eternity. Whatever happened on this side is not going to affect our eternity because we are trusting in God for salvation. And I know that my mom loved God with all her heart. And I know that what is expecting her in glory is eternity. Nevertheless, that doesn't keep us from mourning. And I was just meditating on the verse that we have been thinking about all year long. I mentioned it on Sunday, but I did read it from Luke 4, talking about the year of Jubilee. I want to read the original one that Jesus quotes in Luke 4. That is Isaiah 61, that says, "The Spirit of the Lord God is upon me, because the Lord has anointed me to bring good news to the poor. He has sent me to bind up the brokenhearted, to proclaim liberty to the captives, and the opening of the prison to those who are bound, to proclaim the year of the Lord's favor and the day of vengeance of our God, to comfort all who mourn." Even through the season and the election, there are those who are sad, there are those that are mourning, there are those that are excited. There's all kind of thoughts and conversation. But in our family, it's a mourning season. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm not excited. I'm not happy. I am sad. My family is sad. I love mom, and this is not an easy season for us. But the Bible tells us that Jesus came to proclaim the year of Jubilee and the year of the favor of the Lord, and to comfort all who are mourning. So he's here to comfort us. He's here to embrace us and to give us his peace in the midst of challenges and difficulties. And I just wanted to encourage you with that word. Whatever you're going through, if you're going through any kind of concern, pain, whether it be the political thing, whether it be an infirmity, whether it be a loss of a job, or if you are in a mourning season like I am, here's our comfort, that Jesus came, as he says, anointed by God to bring good news to the brokenhearted, to bind the brokenhearted, and to proclaim liberty to captive, and open the prison to those who are bound, to proclaim of the year of the Lord's good favor. See, the year of Jubilee is a year of freedom, is a year of rejoicing. And this just might be the year of freedom from my mom, to stop suffering from cancer and to be in the presence of the Lord. Is that easy? No. Is that easy for me? No, it's not. Nevertheless, the blessing that you and I have, that most people in this world do not have, is that we believe in eternity. We believe in the hope and the joy of living with Christ forever. So when we pass from this life to the next, we are going to a better, a more joyful place. It's not an imagination. It's not a desire. It's a conviction. The conviction of eternity that keeps us. I still mourn my dad after 13 years, and I know I'm going to mourn my mom for a long time, but I know where my dad is. He is enjoying eternity. I know that eternity is real, but there are people in this world that do not know that, and that is why we exist. We exist as a community of faith, to bring the hope of the gospel, to bring the hope of the good news to those who have no hope. And in the midst of our mourning, in the midst of our suffering, we do not shrink back. We mourn. I am mourning, I'm not gonna lie to you. But we do not shrink back. We continue to bring the hope of Christ to those who need hope. We need hope, but there are others that need it way more than us because they never heard about it. And Jesus calls us in the Word. The Bible calls us in Isaiah 61 to proclaim the good news One thing that have captivated my attention today reading this verse again, and I've been reading it a lot lately, is that Jesus stops in verse 2 where it says to proclaim the year of the Lord's favor. He stops there. When you go to Luke 4, Jesus stops there. He doesn't continue. But see, it continues in Isaiah 61. It says, and the day of the vengeance of our God. These are not the same thing. The year of the Lord's favor, the year of Jubilee, is not the same thing as the day of the vengeance of our God. There is a day that is coming in the future where God is going to right every wrong, where God is going to execute justice, where God is going to punish sin, where God is going to bring eternal justice to the world. But that's not today. Today is the day of Jubilee. Today is the day of declaring hope and faith. So don't worry about vengeance. Don't worry about justice. Don't worry about righting every wrong. God's going to take care of that. He will take care of that. He promises it. But Jesus stopped at the year of Jubilee because since his death and resurrection, it's the grace time. It is the forgiveness time. It's the hope time. It's the year of Jubilee where when you proclaim the good news of Christ, people can have hope and their life can be transformed for eternity. This is the day of Jubilee. And as painful as this day and this week and this season is for me, I'm still committed to preaching the gospel. That is the hope of the world. Because just about 35 years ago, I had the honor of baptizing my mom, being with her the day she got baptized in water. Since that day, she'd been following Jesus with all her heart and loved him with all her heart. And when it's time for her to cross into eternity, I know exactly where she's going, at a much better place. No pain, no sadness, and eternal joy. We want that for every human being. So you and I, in the midst of our sorrow, let's keep preaching that gospel. Let's keep announcing the good news of Jesus Christ. Thank you for standing with us. Thank you for praying for my family. I receive every text. I receive every message. I read them all. If I don't respond, give me grace. I'm taking time for reflection and for being with my family. Love you all. And by the grace of God, I will see you Sunday morning. I will be at La Casa Sunday morning by God's grace. The Lord bless you.